Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Igaga, and I want to welcome you to your favorite show, the one show that lights up your Wednesday, and that is Men. Now, we're here at the Naguru Skies Hotel, enjoying fresh air. Fresh air.
Yes.
Fresh air, Albert, fresh air. Yes. And it has about the freshest air in Kampala. Why? Because it's not air conditioned. We're out here and we're enjoying it. On top of that, you get a chance to have the best view, arguably, in Kampala. Those of you who thought Kampala is a dark city, shock on you. It is a city of lights. One of the greatest cities in the world. Yeah, I think I'm promoting our good city very well. Yes. Yeah. So if you've never visited Kampala, make sure you visit it. Now, tonight we are talking about men remarrying to raise their children. Are you a single man who is raising children for whatever reasons? Either you are left physically or emotionally and you have to raise your children. Should you marry again? Well, that's what we're tackling tonight. Banji, you're the man of the hour. Looking really sharp. Love the grey suits. Well done, well done, well done.
Red tie.
Red tie. Yes. You're doing very, very well. Yes. Now, I've got
people power, I think.
No.
It's just
it's men power.
It's men power. Yeah.
Now, I've got to ask. Very many times there are issues when a lot of people say, "Oh, a man cannot raise children on his own. It is not good for a man to be alone." That's in the Bible. Should a man remarry for the sake of raising his children?
I think a mature man, biologically functioning a man, isn't it, should not be alone. So now, if he has children, how dare he be alone? Who has given him the authority to be alone? Yeah. You know, sometimes I have heard people, some men out there argue and say, you know, when I marry, I'm not sure how the stepmother will treat my children. If you pick a wrong stepmother, then your children will suffer. So you have to choose the right one. There is no wrong woman. It's a matter of discussing with her, and she comes in the picture knowing that you have children to be raised. Your children, the ones you already have, and the ones you are going to have. Because a woman who mistreats your children then can also equally mistreat hers. So you understand?
No.
So, yes, this is a very serious thing. So for me, I would say that a man, there's nothing stopping a man from remarrying in order to raise his children, because it takes two to make a family. We have seen there are examples we have seen of men who have refused to remarry, that they are raising the children alone, but they are paying the consequences. Yeah. So remarry, please.
All right, but you know, you've mentioned something. If your focus, you've said it takes two to make a family work, okay, but not three, and because you've kept the children out of it. So shouldn't a man remarry for the sake of having a partner, not for the sake of somebody to raise his children?
I don't think that you are bringing this woman in your house to just raise your children. Yes, for other people.
Nobody. You know, let me tell you one thing. Yeah. You see, this is the scenario where you have to look at. It's a two-way traffic. You're talking about children. Now, when you talk about children, it's a broad statement, because children, there are 6 from 6 wives. 6 from 6 wives with different cultures. Rwanda, this is Samia, Mugisu. All of them are here. Now, these children have been brought up with different cultures. Now you bring in a fresh one, looking good, and almost the agement of the firstborn. And when she's around the home, she can run around with the firstborn. We shall all be looking. If it was me, I would even feel like mounting her also. Because you are looking at a young woman who has come in the scenario. She has come in to keep the young children alone. And what do you think about them? So this is the two-way traffic. If you are an adult and you have grown and you are old a bit, and the kids have matured a bit, I do not believe that you should bring in a third party to become a shareholder in your business, family business. We should be very, very careful in this type of thing. Otherwise, you will put yourself in a military barracks and you will never live your life.
I want to supplement his point. I want to supplement him. He has talked about a man should not rely on a woman to raise the kids as that's her primary role as to why he should marry her. No. Because these children, it's been proven. You've seen it. I'm sure you'll see it with your own children. They outgrow you, and you outgrow them. They have to leave the home. And when they leave the home, and you've married the woman who the main purpose, the sole purpose was to look after the kids. Hey, even in construction, once you're done and you hand over the keys to the house, your contract is done. So, which means Igaga, if you married your wife for children, that time is running out.
Yes.
I'm telling you, she should, every day she looks at the kids, she knows every day that passes is a day lost.
I'll tell you what, I agree with you 100% in an ideal world, but the reality is, picture this, here's this man, like you said, he is maybe in his late 50s, all right?
Yes.
He loses his wife for whatever reason. Either she passes away or
divorces,
she divorces.
Property.
Yes, those things. Yes. And he's left with the children. How is he supposed to go about working at the same time raising those children? He needs somebody. He needs part of the support system.
And now this is the situation. Because the person he needs must be young. You can't marry an old woman at your age to go and look after your children. You must get somebody very energetic. Yes. And when you get this lady very energetic, she has feelings. This woman also needs to be hammered properly. Yes. So when you bring her, don't think she's just going to look after your children and do all. She also needs to be serviced.
But now, can't you now pay attention to her?
At what time now? When you have said you
already said you have no time for children. You want to work.
Yes. And now you're having a scenario where these children are from even different wives. I'm talking you could have 6 from 4 wives. Now you have to look for money to look after these kids and also come back thinking about servicing this young girl who is also very ready for you. Find her also very ready and also wants children. So you're going to have a whole barracks of children and you create a whole force at your own home.
Whoa.
You can imagine. You have a whole barracks at your own home.
Okay.
So how do you live like that?
All right. But now, the thing is...
No, these are serious things. There's no laughter about. These are very serious issues. Yes. We must take them serious. Because people are watching us and we're talking like this. Some people are collapsing in their homes. But these are serious things and they're affecting society.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, I agree 100%. But at the end of the day, it is very difficult for a man to raise children. It's actually easier, not that I'm saying women are better at raising children, but technically they are. A lot of, even according to the law, a child is better off with their mother than with their father. It is easier for a woman to raise a child than a man. So in the event a man is left, so he's supposed to just stay the way he is and not
and Peter, you raise a very good point. The law. If you said the Bible, I would even jump off this chair and somersault and go behind the law. Yes. And that's where we make mistakes. Because the Bible did not say that there's a man or woman who can, if you can quote that here, I will just leave the show. I can even walk naked, I can demonstrate and walk naked and get out of the show. Because you are just saying the law. And this is why the problem is we make laws that have engulfed us into this kind of thing. Because really at 60, if you're going to get somebody to look after, because you have now 2 levels of family members. There's the first level and then the second level.
Yeah.
Now, who is going to keep the first level and second level? The first level is the same age with the woman you bring in. Because you bring in a young girl, very energetic, and go to Nakawa market, buy flour, buy this, come and mingle, you know, all these things. Yeah. This is what you're calling about. What do you call keeping? Dropping kids at Kampala Palace. Because you can't drop kids at the age of 70. You'll be knocked by a traffic jam. The wind of traffic jam will push you down and you'll die. So you need somebody to take care of this kind of thing.
Yes.
And this is what we need.
I think, Igaga, there is you haven't told us what kind of children we are talking about. Because sometimes...
No. It's because children will be of any age. Men of these days are adventurous. You can have a man of 70 having a 2-year-old. I'm very adventurous, man.
But Banji, just before you do that, we're going to have to go into a break, and then we'll come. I know these men have pounced on you and want to.
No.
But as soon as we get back from the break, now we are here at the Naguru Skies Hotel talking about whether a man should remarry to raise his children. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. We are here at the Naguru Skies Hotel talking about men who remarry for the sake of their children. Now, just before we went into the break, Banji was emerging from the storm.
Yes, I was emerging from the storm.
Yes.
I have been sandwiched by tear gas on this side and the rubber bullets on this side. However, I'm wearing a
bulletproof.
I think, Igaga, you've not told us about the children. You know, when we talk about children the African way, my father, who is 76, and his mother is 92. She's still my child, isn't it?
Yes.
So we are not talking about those kinds of really children, in my opinion. We are talking about probably young ones, probably who have not yet become independent, as you said. They will move out of the house. And we really know that the task of raising children is really very difficult. We have seen, Igaga, you are from the other generation, of the old generation.
The ones where there were no supermarkets and wells.
And we really did see our either fathers or grandfathers remarrying, and the women they brought in raised their children very well. And up to now, these children still call them mothers. Now, I think you need to study the dynamics of your children, because as Jero here has said, you may be having 11 children, and those are 11 mothers, and now you are bringing in the 12th mother. There will be fire in your house probably. Okay, and it may also depend at the age of these children. But overall, I still stick to my guns. I really think that the issue of raising children is a very complicated business. And you need support.
My brother.
So if the children are old, you also need to choose a woman who's
my brother Banji. My brother Banji. Me, I'm talking about something. This is a practical thing. My late mother was a teacher. Without her, I don't think so many of us would have gone to school, because we're 11 kids in one woman. You know very well, this current generation, there are no girls who can give birth to 11 children. They are not there now in our generation, with the chips, liver, and all these funny things. They are not there. Now we're 11. Now, when my mother died, my father could still service, because at 65, he was still a strong man. He could have got an expired pambo there, and he would also deal with it. But he realized I have 11 kids in one mother. The boys are grown up. I'm the second last born. Now you're bringing in another woman. And you can't bring in a woman who's also the same age of your mother. What would I think? Me as the second last born. He brought in a woman and she's masquerading around. But don't you think I have feelings? And children are children. There is no definition of children. Children are children.
But OJ, as a child, as a child, if that was a thought of a child, I think that child is being selfish. Because you, the two of you,
you bring a point.
Just wait. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Need to finish that. Once you say, which means a man should not marry for the children, but for his own needs. Not for, because if you have to keep thinking about the children, you talked about thinking about the dynamics of the children. No. You need to think of the dynamics of the women of that era, of that generation you are in. Because you're bringing in someone into your house who you're not certain. Let me tell you, you've been with a woman, for example, like let's put a scenario, you've been with your wife 30 years. You have kids, let's say the youngest is about 12 or even 8. 30 years. And then you bring in a lady, now you're 50, you bring in a lady who is 30. The dynamics are completely different. You've been with someone for 30 years, you know her so well. You're entering a dating world. You want to date, you want to flash around. She's used to chips and chicken. For you, you're used to Carlo and this man.
Peter, before you come in, let me give you a scenario. I have a scenario. This is a practical example I will give. I have a friend of mine. For him, he runs this relationship in a very interesting way. They have a baby, and they all babysit. Now, they have agreed with the wife. On Friday, it is this time to babysit.
All the days?
All the days. He comes home at about 5 and is babysitting, and the wife will go and hang out with the girls, go all over town, somersault, comes in at about 5 a.m. and says, hey, you've come back very early. He takes the baby, and on Saturday, he comes back on Sunday after church. The man. Who is going to babysit that kid? Just in case your wife left, tell me which woman you're going to bring in that house. Okay. That kind of arrangement.
Yeah, no, you see, the thing is, both of you have talked about the issue of being selfish.
Yes.
Now, two things. First of all, as a son, and I'll go back to my traditional African beliefs, your Muzee's woman, you cannot even automatically becomes your mother. You cannot look at her with those eyes of, hey, the opportunities. It doesn't matter how young she is or anything like that. Number two, you see, it is tough raising children with two parents. You can imagine how tough it is raising alone.
Yes.
So am I then supposed to say, because I'm not thinking I'm meant to think about myself and not the children, I'm meant to wait until all these kids leave the house, and is when I remarry? Is that fair?
Yeah, sometimes you take a painful decision. You look at the kids and say, now, the last one is like this, they're all grown-ups. Why should I bring more problems at home? Let these kids move.
Let me tell you. Do you know the age of a young man, the age of adolescence? Do you think he can tell the difference between his father's wife, young woman? Adolescence. You know, Peter Gaga, this you are talking about. You are saying ideal. Those things you are saying are ideal. Where are you? African one. We are past that.
Even Grace Mugabe now is divorcing because she needs somebody to service now. She's now asking for a divorce now. She says, I can't live like this. Because Mugabe, we are not very sure the man could be 100 and something. This woman needs to be serviced. She looks very nice. She has money. Why can't you pump? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? These are serious issues. These are serious issues, Peter, why we need to listen to this.
Yeah, okay, but you see,
when it comes to companions, this is a very serious issue. Even in the Bible, you remember. This is a very serious issue.
Yes, but you see, the thing is, companionship and raising children are different.
Yeah. It starts to here
to
bring the children up. If the two of you in the bedroom, you and your wife, are having problems, then the children will also grow as misguided missiles.
I agree.
When you are going to shoot at sky, you will shoot at rise and shine down. There you find people dying.
Yeah, I agree 100% because you have to be in sync. But then that's why you talked about painful decisions.
Yes.
Then and you talked about selfishness. Isn't it also selfish for the children to expect their father to stay single until they grow up and leave? I'm not remembering.
That is the argument I was trying to develop.
Yes.
When I said it is
not develop it. Yes.
Yeah. Because ordinarily, and I'm going to assure you of this. This is a proven fact. Research is out there that especially men who have been in a long relationship and they divorce or separate, because single men tend to die earlier than their married counterparts. Yes. So if you want longevity in raising your children, you need a partner around you, because you're going to be miserable. You know, these children of yours, once they go to bed, you'll go to your bed miserable. For 30 years you've been used to sleeping next to someone. Now you just go and coil with the pillows. So it is part of the quality that you need in order to raise your children.
And your children can also drive you mad.
Yes, they can drive you mad. So the whole idea is, it means if you have children who, when you bring in another woman, not a second woman, when you remarry and they are fighting your children, I mean your wife, it means you raised them. There is a question about the way you raised them.
I'll tell you what, yes and no. And Banji, before we leave you, I'd like you to just think about something. Sometimes the problem is not the children. Sometimes there's competition for the man. For the man. Now, these children can have some level of insecurity because they feel, and it does happen, their fathers who the moment they get, like you said, there are a lot of pressure. Yes. The girl is 20-something. Yes. The guy is 50-something. Yes. She is also a child. Yes. Okay. Yes. She has needs. And can take the attention away. Yes. So she starts competing even with a 6 or 5-year-old, and that's where an issue comes.
That's the issue comes.
However, at the same time, the children might look at her as a threat. She may not be. She might genuinely love the children, but they're like, no, they are still hung up on their mother. And it becomes even more complicated if it's a divorce, because the children might look, you don't know what the mother is telling them. Yes. Okay. She might be saying, oh, you know what, and your father left me.
And you can't even stop them from going to their mother.
Yes, yes. Saying, maybe your father left me because of that girl. So the children come home, they're upset.
And you know, Peter, what you've raised, there is because children normally we are so close to our parents. Yes. Okay. Whether we have been with them for 30 years, 10 years, 15 years. Normally when this other party comes in, they will be seen as a stranger by them. That person is the stranger. And this, because remember also that this is a new flame. Yes. As a man, you have the tendency to gravitate towards the new flame and away from your kids. So
it is true the kids will fight. But for me, my argument is, should I now coil my arms and fear fire in my house and say, well, let me live in peace? No. Me, I will not do that. I will die fighting.
And, but you see,
for the children.
yes. You see,
to know that me on my
you see,
own,
Banji,
I can't.
Banji, you see, Banji, you're talking like these funny dictators you see in Africa who want to die with you at 120 and say, I will die there. That's stupidity.
Yes, you have to-
And when you die there, they will bury you standing like a borehole. It's about that. It's about the life you are living around you. Look at your ancestral line. The pressure they will put on you, you will not even finish 1 month in your home. Then you leave your wife for your young boys to mount her. And you ask about your son mounting your wife?
OJ, my question is in defense of Banji.
Banji, man, where are you?
I need to come to your aid. I'll say, you see, the thing is, at the end of the day, part of a man's wholesome life is being able, because children can also drive you mad. I mean, it is a struggle, especially when they're teenagers. You need support. You don't want to be in a situation as a man where, especially if you've got boys, girls are much better. Like you've got 4 boys, they will drive you mad. Okay, so you need that support. Yes, who can
Let me even let me add on that. Let me put some beef on that, some pork on that. Let me tell you, boys who are teenagers, when you bring another woman, you're bringing someone who is a replacement. They are going to dread you. How can you bring someone to replace mommy? Every day, no, that is how they will see it. That's not what it will be. That is how they perceive it.
And for this woman,
no, I need you to hold on to that perception because we are going into a break and then we're going to come right back to you. Yes. Now we are here at the Naguru Skies Hotel having a bit of a heated discussion about whether men should remarry because of their children or they should live in misery as they wait for the children to grow up. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. We are here at the Naguru Skies Hotel talking about men who want to remarry for the sake of their children. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Don't forget, this is your show. We want to hear from you. Let's have this conversation on both Twitter and Facebook. Now, yes, Banji, rubber bullets, tear gas. You know. Now, during the break, I mentioned it. What happened to boys moving out at the age of 18? Why should it be a fight as to who my father marries or who he doesn't marry? It is none of my business. However, the reality is, for as long as I am living under his roof, okay, I must abide by his rules. If part of his rules are to bring another woman, it is upon me to abide by it, and not the other way around.
That says don't touch.
Don't touch.
Don't look.
Now,
don't
Peter,
admire.
no.
Then you're grown up and you need to leave.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
No, let me give Peter an example.
Yeah.
This is one of my relatives. These boys grow up, they finish campus, they're at home. They don't have jobs.
Then let them go.
No, they have applied for jobs, they have failed.
I left home when I was 17.
Every day they are, no, yes. Every day their father drank alcohol, came and told them, you must leave this house. You are big boys, look at your heads, they are lousy. Alcohol is on the head. Yeah. These boys are like, what do we do? They also said, okay, we shall go to Kisenji. They started mugging. The wife said, you know what, whenever you leave, these boys are busy at home. So, the wife don't know. These boys were training for their own what? Yeah. Their own father. So one day he came back and thought it was the usual ordinary thing. After eating his fish and what? He was excited. The boys held him tight like this. They don't beat, but only show him that we can organize you. They put him up, they lift him up. Put him down tight there. Say, you man, what are you saying? We are your own sons. If you want, get us the place outside there and get us the jobs. Because we are your own children. Or else, also give us space because we are shareholders in this what? Property.
But that is a problem.
What do you do in such a scenario?
They are not shareholders. It's your property. It is your life. She's your wife.
You brought them into your company.
Yes.
The mere fact that you got out some spouse, they came into your company.
Yes,
they become shares automatically.
It was about your action and our mother. Your action.
Yes. Now you're there bringing another woman, and then you think let's get out of the house.
Really?
And you're with another woman.
Now, it appears as if now the children are the ones running the home.
Exactly.
But traditionally, you don't know that when your father gets aging, you start making decisions for him. He starts calling you Muzei. Me, my father called him Muzei because I make decisions. When I go to the village and I find the villagers organizing our land, you have to ask my father to do. I will break your legs. I will not ask my father to take decisions. I make decisions. Because I am a grown-up person and you must take responsibility.
Because
This is
But
responsibility.
not over the woman he chooses.
What are you talking about? Woman he chooses.
Yes.
When my late mother is under the ground, you bring another
Yeah,
one choosing
that's
about
what
what?
I've been telling
What are you
you,
talking about, you
Gaga.
guys?
You don't
We are
bring
emotional.
someone.
These are
You
things
don't
that
bring
are touching
someone with
family.
your big head
Yeah.
and try to say that this is a replacement to your mother. You don't.
Replace- who are you
have to be very
replacing?
careful.
Okay, by the way,
That's why when you're married,
Peter, my mother is not an NGO send a cow that you just replace it with another cow. Do you understand? This is not it's not an NGO. This is a woman who was born by a human being,
Yes.
and I respect her. Without her, I wouldn't
that
do
is
what I
why.
was.
That is why, Igaga, let me now tell you,
Yes.
if you want to remarry, it should be also an agreement with the stakeholders in the house. Have an agreement. If not that, then marry for your selfish benefits. Marry because you want to get banged. That's why you should get. Don't marry for your children because your children have different problems.
And there are people. And
They are mourning their mother. You're there mounting other people's mothers.
And then you are happy to say that there's a problem in marriage. I should get another one.
do you
Only you're mounting
believe?
another
Okay,
woman.
one
What are you
question.
mounting?
Okay, OJ, one question. Do you believe in democracy in marriage, rather in a family?
You see, the democracy is a very interesting thing. Now you're bringing me back to politics. I didn't want to talk politics. Democracy is a very different thing. You see, democracy is a word that we read, but in actual sense there's no democracy. It's not there.
Yes.
Even when we were going to school when we were kids,
Yes.
when time came and we were going to school, my father would go and discuss with my late mother in the bedroom who is going to get which half kilo of sugar and what.
Yes.
They knew which one, who is performing very well, who we can visit near, who is going to Mwiri, who is going to Rock College, who is going to Manjasi. This was politics in the bedroom, not at our level, at the sitting room when we had dinner together and everything. So it is quite different.
So then
Even
why?
right now, you know it very well. Even our current Uganda here, the president will consult his brother, the other one, not me and you. From Busia, this man from Kasese, where they come from in Buanga, they are
Okay,
character.
politics aside. So if that is at the level, then why then should a man consult his children?
Because that is different politics. He has lost his partner in crime. Now he has to discuss with the partners.
And you see,
No, you guys are trying to butter your bread on both sides.
No.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Kikaga, you're in a family.
you see,
Okay, just say here,
okay,
Banji. Let's hear Banji.
Gentlemen are contradicting themselves.
Yeah.
I think, and this is my humble opinion, that it depends sometimes on the circumstances. If I lose my wife, I don't think that I'm going to marry tomorrow. No. Because, and again, it depends on the age of my children. And some of these things, as we have said, a family, and I have already said on this show, you cannot run a family on democracy.
Yeah,
It will
doesn't
collapse.
it?
It will collapse.
Yeah.
A family
You have to
is
be a
the
dictator.
best dictatorship there is. You can sugarcoat it with whatever you want, but a family is the best dictatorship. Put democracy in your marriage and it collapses the following day. It's simply dictatorship. You want to move out of the house and come tomorrow, just
move.
Madam, I have left. She called you, say, I will come tomorrow.
You just move. When you buy fish, you say, I'm going to eat the head. And if they eat the head, you beat everybody in the family because they ate the head before you ate.
Yes, now, the point I'm making is,
Yes.
therefore, when it is me, these are my children, I have their welfare at my heart.
Yeah.
And I have made a judgment that for my children to grow very well, I need to remarry. End of debate. I will remarry.
And they will have to fall in.
As long as my vice president understands that she's coming in a family where there might
But she also needs kids.
Boxing.
No,
Yeah.
she also needs kids.
and who says I want to give her kids?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yes.
different
So now,
discussion.
who are you going? Now you're bringing more problems. So who's going to take care of those young ones?
No, but you see, I'll tell
I
you.
don't blame.
No, but I'll tell you.
Go around the same area.
No, I'll tell you what.
Because now you're
gentlemen.
bringing other kids, young ones again. Now who's going to keep
No,
them?
I'll tell you what, gentlemen. In all fairness, and I know this is slightly different, but and I think we'll need to have a lady there for this. In all fairness, if you're bringing a lady into them and she wants children, okay, you cannot tell her she's not going to have children because I already have the 11 you're talking about.
Yes,
That's your business.
From 5 wives. And these 11 are not from one miscarriage. It's just
But that's
here
your
and there.
business. That's your business.
And now, get this. That now when she gives birth, she takes more responsibility with her own children than these ones she got here. She would even say these are bastards.
No,
You
but-
them, they are walking anyhow. Like that, what are you talking about?
No. You see, the thing is, I think there has to be a system to which the in the event that a gentleman decides he's going to remarry, there has to be a system in which she's introduced, okay, you can't just
That one,
throw her,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
because there'll definitely be resistance.
Yes.
Any animal, when you bring a fresh animal, there's resistance.
Yes.
Because, you know, somebody has entered your space. But anyway, gentlemen, we have turned the corner in the show. We've reached that point when we have to enter our parting shots.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yes.
No.
So, yes. I'll start with you. Your parting shot, yes.
Gentlemen, you want to remarry, be very strategic. You don't want to bring war into your family. You have been peaceful for 30 years with your wife, 40 years, 20 years with your previous wife. She has left scars, she has left wounds. Make sure they are healed before you bring in a new surgeon to cut people's hearts open. Yes. So, but if that is not possible, and you have, because these children, mind you, they will leave. They will have to go. And then you will have to stay with the person you brought him to look after your kids, not to look after you. So get someone to look after you, and I'm sure if they love you, they will love your children.
OJ, your parting shot.
Remarry, but get the right partner. Ask your kids. These kids are grown-ups. Some of them are young. Put them together and ask them, is it important that I can bring somebody who will keep me and you together? Let it be a family discussion. Don't bring dictatorship in homes. This is not a dictatorship. These things are family issues discussed. Because when that woman comes in the home, she's part and part of the family. It's going to be difficult for you to say she's not a shareholder in the business. Tomorrow, if you go like this, she'll even ask for that house in Aguru on top of the hill. Like why we are sitting there, sky, first floor is mine. So get the right person, discuss with the family, sit down, be God-fearing, things will move.
All right.
And I wish you well.
Great stuff.
Finally,
Manji.
I'm finding a point of convergence.
Yeah.
I think the idea is that first you need to examine your family.
Yeah.
Whether that other person you are bringing in will have peace and can be accommodated. And then you need, as they have said, it is not a dictatorship, but this is it's a mixture of dictatorship and democracy. You are not asking your children for permission to remarry. You are discussing with them the idea that you wish to remarry, and you sell to them your idea until they buy it. If it takes a year or 2 years or 10 years, you keep selling to them until they buy it. For me, that is the idea. And when you bring in this person, you are not only bringing in for the children, but also for yourself. So that when the children leave, you can continue living with this person. And then, if you find that your family is chaotic, please don't bring someone's daughter into your chaos. Into your chaos. First sort it out, let your children grow. When they reach of age, then you can start afresh.
Oh, okay. Now, you've heard it from the men, but Banji, I have just one simple question. You've said sell the idea to your children. What if your children say no?
Then you haven't communicated properly.
Come back to dictatorship. Come back to dictatorship. Yes. You come back to dictatorship. Now that's what
we have come to the end of our show here at Naguru Skies Hotel. We have been talking about men remarrying to take care of their children. If you're a man who's in that dilemma, make sure we continue this discussion on social media. It's a good night from us here at Naguru Skies Hotel. Take good care of yourselves, and God bless.